Welcome back to another thrilling recap. Today we're unraveling the electrifying narrative of Liverleaf. So buckle up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm James, and this is Recap 3.0. The movie begins with the main character of the movie, Haruka Nozaki, opening her school locker to find dirt and dust inside it. She is then approached by a handsome and smart classmate, Mitsuru Ibar, who asks her if she is waiting for someone. Nozaki replies, "Yes," and Ibook greets her goodbye. Later, while Nozaki is returning home, she is bullied by her classmates. They have stolen her shoes away from the locker and thrown them in a pit full of mud, teasing her. Nozaki gets down inside the pit but trips on the mud to get all dirty. She picks up her shoes, and the girls begin throwing her belongings from the bag, all over the place. Tachibana mentions that they are doing it because she played with the feelings of another girl, Taiko. But Taiko denies it and says that it has nothing to do with Ibar. Nozaki silently gathered her belongings and walked back home. When Nozaki reaches home, her sister Shoko starts crying, seeing her in this miserable condition. Her father and mother also join them in a family hug. The next day, Nozaki, whose father goes to her school to complain about the bullying going around. He tells Miss Minami everything, but she seems to be ignoring the complaint. She instead suggests she should only come to school once her graduation is completed. Later, Nozaki returned to her classroom, where she found the three ladies scratching on her desk. They also throw sawdust at her face. On the other hand, Nozaki, whose father was kicked by Nozaki, is a classmate of Kugat's. While he was returning from the meeting with Minami, he fell down the stairs in the classroom while Ms. Minami was teaching. We can see blood dripping on Nozaki's desk from a dead crow placed in front of her. Kuga tries to call Minami to inform her about the crow, but she again seems to ignore the call. Iben, Kuka, get into the chat and stand in front of each other. Meanwhile, Taiko writes something on the paper and passes it two in front, which ends up hitting Ms. Minami. Minami then panics and moves out only to puke, which gives the students a chance to make fun of her behavior. In the evening, when Nozaki reaches home, she is surprised to see her dad injured. Her dad mentions that she should not go to school if she is feeling scared or bullied. He also says that they shifted here because of his job, and it's his responsibility to protect them. The following day, Nozaki had a fever, and her mother suggested she not go to school and keep resting. Later, her sister arrives and asks her if she's okay. Hearing that she's all right, Shoko starts dancing and jumping all over. We are then taken back to the scene of the school where the ladies are reminiscing about Nozaki. They decide to send someone to check for Nozaki to be okay. A classmate named Rumi is taken as a help to enter her house and make her come to school every day. She is also threatened that if she is unable to do so, she will be the next target. Rumi then visits her home and finds her sleeping on the bed. She sits down on the floor and asks Nozaki if she is all okay. When Nozaki tells her that she won't be coming to school before graduation, Rumi bursts out, saying that if she doesn't come to school, they will target and torture her. Rumi then clicks some pictures of her and asks her for a music CD for proof that she has visited Nozaki. The next day, when Nozaki is still absent from school, Rumi is kept inside a cupboard in the classroom, and the ladies, including Taiko, start torturing her. On the other hand, we can see Nozaki and her sister walking happily through the forest road, where they come across Ibe, who is clicking pictures. He is happy to see them, and also takes a picture of the sisters while taking their picture. He mentions that it's the first time he has taken a human picture at school. We can see that Rumi is being bullied, and her hair is being cut randomly by Taiko. When Taiko asks her if she hates Nozaki, she replies that she wants to kill her. The next day, Nozaki showed the picture that Iba had taken, and she liked it a lot. We can see Iba waiting for her outside her house. She then waves goodbye and leaves the house with Ibe. The duo roam around the riverside the whole day, taking pictures and enjoying each other's company. IBR mentions that after the snowfall, the city would look more beautiful and accidentally touches her hand. He apologizes for that, but she says it's okay. He then touches her hand deliberately, and she smiles while they're returning to their home at night. They notice the college bullies walking past them, looking at Nozaki's house. Nozaki then sees from afar that her house is on fire. She then rushes to her home, where a crowd has gathered. She tries to enter the burning house, but Chiba and the crowd stop her. She cries in fear and loss. Then Abar enters the house and takes out the body of her little sister, who is severely burnt but is breathing. She is then taken to the hospital in an ambulance immediately. Her father and mother seem to have died inside the house. We are then cut to the scene at the hospital where Nozaki is. Grandfather visits her. She is waiting outside the ICU where her sister is kept. She is now living with her grandfather at his house. At school, the group of bullies are afraid by thinking that if anyone finds out that the fire is caused by them, they will be screwed. The two ladies are terrified, as they cannot believe that they have burned people alive. However, some of them seem to have no regret that they have burnt down a family. In the next scene, when Taiko is at home, her father mentions that she will be doing whatever he says, and he will decide her future. Taiko mentions that she wants to be a beautician, but he ignores her. He leaves home without informing us when he will return. The next day, everyone is surprised to see Nozaki coming to school. She is told by Aiba that she should not force herself to go to school inside the classroom. When she asks the two girls about something, both of them rush outside Tachibana. The two girls and Nozaki are walking to the same pit where she used to be bullied before. The two girls try to stop Tachibana, but she stabs Nozaki with a pin and makes her fall into the pit. She also mentions that they had set the fire in her house. When Tachibana tries to attack Nozaki with a knife, she is attacked by a nail. Nozaki then beats Tachibana to death. The other two girls try to escape and apologize to Nozaki, but she does not spare them, and eventually kills them before dying. One of them mentions that all of the fire plans were for Kudo. The next day at school, when three of the girls are absent, Kubo and the other two start to worry, further noticing the police officers outside the school. They panic, and Kyoko mentions returning home as it is freezing. On the way back, he meets Nozaki and tries to bully her again. When he pushes her, he is stabbed by Nozaki. He runs to save his life but falls down the slopes and is severely injured. Nozaki then leaves him alone to die in the cold the next day because of the heavy snowfall. Grandpa tells Nozaki that the school will remain closed and she can rest all day. Meanwhile, IBA comes to visit Nozaki. Grandpa mentions that he's going to take Nozaki and her sister Shoko back to Tokyo after her graduation. He also asks Aiba to take care of her and to protect her at Rumi's house. She gets a call from the two boys, who inform her that the three girls, including Kuka, are missing. He also adds that Nozaki has killed all of them and is coming after her. He threatens her to make a move before she kills her, and says that they are going to finish her tomorrow. The following day, Nozaki is out on her own through the woods when she stops by to admire the Liverleaf flower. She is attacked by the two guys. They underestimate Nozaki and decide to split up too. Hunter Iko finds her and makes her fall onto the ground. He mentions that he likes her a lot and tries to kiss her, but she denies it. Then he tries to force her to kiss but suddenly is attacked by pliers by Nozaki. Another boy from a distance tries to aim at Nozaki with an arrow but shoots right through Ichigo's head and kills him. When he tries to attack Nozaki, she stabs him and kills him too. In the next scene, we can see the parents of the three girls at the school trying to complain about the missing girls. The next day, Aibar comes to visit Nozaki, and the two go out for a walk. They reach the same place from where Ibai mentioned that the city would look good with snow covering it. They kiss for the first time, and Alba promises to protect her at home. Aibar tells her grandmother that he would like to go to Tokyo for further study, and wants to live with Nozaki, as she has nobody to count on. We are then cut to the scene where Rumi is near the pit where Nozaki was bullied. She slides down the pit to find the dead bodies of the three girls. She is terrified to see that, and tries to call Taiko to inform them about all this. However, Taiko does not answer any of her calls while bullying Rumi. She had mentioned earlier that she would like to kill Nozaki. We are shown footage from the past where she says that she would make her burn inside her house, pouring kerosene all over. We are shown that Rumi is carrying a gallon of kerosene with her towards Nozaki's house. Taiko prefers to return to her home, and the other continues to move forward. In the next scene, we can see Taiko coming to visit Nozaki at her house after finding no one there. She starts to return on her way back. She notices Nozaki and stops to meet her. She returned the music CD, which Rumi provided her, and mentioned that she had been listening to it all night. When the footage of their earlier friendship is shown, it turns out that they were best friends earlier. And when Nozaki started being closer to Aiba, their friendship was affected. When Taiko is about to return home, she apologizes to Nozaki for whatever she has done to her. On her way home, Taiko is attacked by Rumi with a knife. Rumi succeeds in injuring her legs and is happy to see Taiko scream. She then approaches to kill her but is kicked by Taiko. Taiko manages to make a cut on her face, but still, Rumi stabs her on her chest and runs away from there. In the next scene, IBA calls Nozaki to inform her that he will join her in Tokyo and both of them can live together. Nozaki replies that she won't be going to Tokyo and would rather stay there. After that, we can see some blood in the IBU's hand. He is also furious to hear Nozaki refusing him. He slams the telephone and goes to his grandmother, who is severely injured by him. It turns out that Abe attacked his grandmother to be with Nozaki. It is also revealed that he has killed his father and mother too. We can deduce that Alba is also the one who was bullied in his childhood by his father. Later, he leaves his grandmother on the floor to die at Rumi's home. She is afraid, and when her mother asks her about what has happened, she just stabs at the door and requests her not to be so nice to her. Meanwhile, the parents of the missing students are gathered together at the school, asking for details about their children. Ms. Minami arrives there, and the parents start insulting her. Minami explodes her anger at being bullied every single day, and she vomits again. She falls on the road and gets crushed by the snow shredding machine to die instantly at the hospital. We see Rumi trying to burn Shoko Nozaki, but arrives in time and attacks her. When Rumi mentions that she should not kill anyone in front of her sister, she leaves her, and Rumi runs away while Nozaki is speaking with her. A nurse comes running to inform Nozaki that her grandfather is severely injured and is at the hospital. Nozaki feels suspicious of Viber and rushes towards him to check his hands. Her suspicion becomes true as she finds Alba's hand full of blood. He further adds that the wound is because he tried to convince her grandmother the night before. Rumi arrives there and explains how she and other guys set fire to her house. It turns out that they burned her mother alive, outside their house. Rumi mentions that she loved the smell of the fire when Noguchi's father arrived for help. Another guy shot him in the leg. Rumi then started throwing kerosene all over his body, along with Zuko. Though others tried to stop her, Rumi was the one who lit him on fire, along with the little sister. After hearing this, Nozaki tries to attack her but gets stabbed by Rumi. Brutally attacks Rumi, and, in this act, throws his bag towards Nozaki. Nozaki finds a picture of her father and sister burning alive. Abar had taken a photo of them before saving her sister. Nozaki is angry to see the picture, and Alba tries to explain that he took it because he was intrigued by his act. Nozaki then takes out the knife from her stomach and tries to attack Ibar after she attacks. Iba gets angry at her and starts punching her in the face. Right then, Ibar picks up his camera to take a picture of her face. He notices the Liverleaf blooming and starts taking its pictures. He tells Nozaki to promise him that she will stay with him, otherwise he will leave her to die in the cold. Meanwhile, Nozaki picks up the bow and arrow of the guy she killed before and shoots right through the camera into the eyes of Abar, killing him after he dies. She starts moving forward towards her home but is badly injured. She takes out and has a look at the necklace her sister gave her and falls flat on the road. In the last scene, we see Taiko taking her graduation certificate. She reaches towards their classroom and remembers how she and Nozaki used to be friends together. And that's a wrap-up of today's movie recap. If you enjoyed the journey through this cinematic adventure, remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more engaging content, and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop. Your support keeps the stories flowing on Recap 3.0. Until next time, happy watching.